So this time of year, if you've had any luck and you shot a good buck, we're all waiting for the taxidermist to get done with her buck. Our spot is already cleared and picked out on the wall, but maybe you shot a buck that didn't quite make it. Maybe a 6-point or a smaller deer, or even, it doesn't really matter what you shot. This is for those who want to celebrate shooting that buck and you want to mount the antlers onto a plaque. All you need to do is get some 3/4 plywood, and you're going to want to frame out a shape. You can do an oval, a circle, you can do a triangle, an arrowhead shape. You can even just take an antler mount off the wall and trace that plaque board. And then you're just going to cut it out with your circular saw, and then you're going to want to route it out. Now I'll put all this stuff that I use, like the routing bits and the plaster of Paris, all the materials that I use, I'll put links down in the description below. Those are all free links. Those are great prices. Thank you so much for using those links. If you use those free links, you're actually helping us. Thank you so much for doing that. So after you get your plaque cut and routed, we're going to now cut a circle that fits. You're going to put your antler mount on the board and trace it. Trace a nice circle that's the exact same size. I just use a jigsaw to cut out the circle. And then once you have the circle, you'll drill a couple pilot holes through the antler mount right into the board. I just use an 1.25" deck screw. So now you're going to want to use a 1/2 cup of plaster of Paris and a 1/2 cup of Quikrete and mix it together in a tub. Splash a little bit of water. Try not to use too much water because then you'll have to add more cement. But you're just going to mix it up real quick, and this mixes and dries in a matter of minutes. For the first 30 seconds, you're going to think it's not going to dry rapidly. You got to work fast. So take that mold and putty it up into a ball. Now put that putty ball of cement onto the wood saucer where the mount is and kind of mold it into a nice shape. Now don't worry, if you need more, you can always mix up more. Wet your fingers. It helps to smooth out the surface to get it to sit. So once you're done, take it into one of your warmer rooms and let it sit overnight. I let everything solidify and cure. Now take your plaque and stain it. Once the stain is dry, take some polyurethane, some clear gloss. Now you don't have to just use stain and then use gloss. You can actually find polyurethane that has a stain in it, but that's just what we had. We stained it, we let it dry for about 30 minutes, and then we came back and brushed on some polyurethane. Now if there's a bunch of bubbles in it, you can sand those down and do one more coat of polyurethane if you want it to look really good. So we come back the very next day. We're going to take some fabric of your choice and wrap it really tight around the antler mold. We're just going to staple it to the back, but the tough part is folding it under. Sometimes we're going to have to take little cuts because you don't want a lot of creases and folds. You want to make it look as nice and as neat as you possibly can. And then to top it off, we use hot glue and we use leather strips, these thin leather, almost like leather lacing, and we hot glue that right around the bottom of the antler. It makes it look really good. We're going to take another 1 1/4 inch screw and go right through the middle of the plaque. We'll size up where we think it'll look good. I always like to put just one screw in there and tighten it up really good. I never have to worry about it moving or falling once I get it tight. But that way, if I put it on the wall and I want to kind of turn the antlers to make it look a little bit more centered, I can do that. But really that's it. If you want to put on an engraved little plate, like what date you shot the deer or what time, or maybe some details, 20 yards with a bow or 50 yards with a Bushmaster or a rifle or something like that, then that looks pretty cool if you were to do that. But I just wanted to share this because I think this is really cool. I personally think that you should celebrate every and all bucks that you harvest. It doesn't really matter if it's a 150-inch deer or if it's a 4-point that you and your son or daughter shot. Those memories are awesome, and I really think it's a fun thing to have on the wall. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. I'll try to answer everybody, and we'll see you on the next video.